And we must have entered the twilight zone because the New York Jets defeat the Texans 30-6. Zach Wilson throws for over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. I am shocked right now. No one I knew would have predicted a rout of the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud playing the way he's been playing. The Jets are going to the Super Bowl, baby. We still have a chance at Super Bowl or bust. Obviously, I'm kidding about the Super Bowl thing, but seriously, that was a game. And I've said it before, Zach Wilson is good for like a good game every like 10 games. And I am so glad they brought him back to have that one because he had the one against the Chiefs and now he has a good one against the Texans. And one can only hope that he continues this next week against the Dolphins. Once again, I'm not letting him off the hook for the amount of suckage that he's sucked all season. But seriously, he had a great game. The receivers were catching the ball, which was incredible. And it seemed like, I mean, I guess they just had to be like, F it, let's just let him throw the ball around. You know, once again, you know, we've seen terrible passes from him. We've seen receivers drop the ball. But Hackett seems to have been way too conservative this year with Zach Wilson if this is how he's going to play. Now, I mean, let's just go over this because I am shocked. I mean, we had a barn burner in the first half that ended at a 0-0 tie. I was just at halftime, I was rolling my eyes being like, what is going on here? And once again, defense coming up huge. But Zach started out 5 for 5. I don't know what he ended up with. As soon as the game ended, I ran in here to do this video. But there is something that I am going to go off on. There is something I'm going to go off on. But let me keep the spirits up. Let's do this. Jets! Oh my goodness. I can't even keep my headphones on. This is what happens when the Jets win? Oh my goodness. Woo! First quarter, yeah, great defense. Zach starts 5 for 5. Second quarter, I mean, and this has been going on all season, and luckily in the second half, they figured this out. They got a good half of football in 6 games, so I'm happy about that. But the Jets in the first half proved something that they've been doing for almost all season, but especially the last 4 or 5 games, is whenever they get a good positive play, the Jets seem to just love losing yards immediately after that. So you get a 10, 20-yard gain, and then it's either a ridiculous penalty, a huge sack for a loss of 7, and they did that again in the second quarter. But after halftime, Zach Wilson, touchdown to Randall Cobb. Where did he come from? He dropped more passes than he completed this year, I believe. But Randall Cobb coming up big with the first touchdown of the game. Xavier Gibson, he runs in for a touchdown on the next drive. And I wrote at this point it was 14-0, and I couldn't believe that all of those 14 points were scored by our offense. That blew my mind. As a matter of fact, we ended with 30 points. I don't think the defense was responsible for one of those points. Like I said, we're in the twilight zone. We're in another dimension right now with this team. This is incredible. And how can you not give once again huge props to Morstead, who dropped one on the one again, I believe, punting the ball, and he drops it to the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. And then, of course, Greg the Leg Zuerlein hits a 51-yard field goal, a 55-yard field goal, and a 45-yard field goal, all in the rain. I mean, this guy, him and Thomas Morstead, they better be our kicker and our punter for years to come. They are both on point this season. I mean, the defense has had, a bad game or two, but they've been a top 10 defense, I think top 5 defense in this league this year. They've made C.J. Stroud, Josh Allen, who else? I mean, Patrick Mahomes. So many guys just look horrible this year. Russell Wilson. I mean, it's been a good amount of guys that our defense has made look bad. But I'll tell you, Greg Zuerlein and Morstead, I don't think either of them have ever had a bad game. Okay, so the Jets win. Okay, let's one more time. I'll hold these on. T-S, Jets. Man, I'm pumped up. But now I got to talk about something else. The officials. And I'm glad that the Jets won this game, so I didn't come on here looking like I'm complaining that the Jets lost because of the officiating. On previous videos, not once did I ever say that the Jets lost because of officiating, but I will continue to point out how terrible the NFL officiating has been this season. I mean, it's been bad for a couple, but this year, and I also want to point out that when I go down this list of 3 specific penalties, the Jets aren't the only ones here. Many other teams in this league have suffered because of the terrible officiating and how much control these shitty officials have on the outcome of an NFL game, and it's tiresome. The first one was a Becton holding in the first quarter. They go back, it's not holding. It wasn't holding. Then you got a complete BS call on Sauce Gardner in the second quarter for illegal contact. What? Non-existent. It looked like they were just like, we need to get the Texans to score because the CJ Stroud story is like a good Cinderella story. Let's get them down the field. But the Jets were not losing this game. They went out there. This was one of the first games that they came out and little flat, but then just fired on all cylinders in the second half. I mean, the Jets are a second half team. They are a great second half team. But they just really were like, they came out the second half, they said, we are winning this game. And they went out and put up 30 points in 2 quarters. And congratulations to Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Zach Wilson, Randall Cobb for catching that touchdown. He made his journey here, there's a highlight. Lazard, not him. As a matter of fact, he had a bullshit. No, it wasn't a bullshit, but he had a penalty on him. I don't know about him. The final one was a roughing the passer on Quincy, or was it Quincy or Quinnen Williams? Either way, if that is roughing the passer, a little titch out of bounds, like while he's going out of bounds, I'm sorry, man. These rules need to be gone over. The officiating needs to be held accountable for the terrible calls that not only were in this game, but like I said, it's across the league. Almost every team I've seen games where they're, what is this bullshit call? I go and look, I'm like, that was a bull call. Even teams in our division, the Bills and the Dolphins, they've all been, subject to the crap calls. The officiating needs to change. But ladies and gentlemen, the Jets, the Jets, Jets, win spectacular fashion. 30-6 over the Texans. We're still mathematically alive, aren't we? I am so pumped up. I'm going to go enjoy this. I'm going to go make myself a steak. Put some A1 on it. I think I have some of my mom's stuffing from Thanksgiving. It's one of my favorite things in the world. I think I have some of that in the freezer. I'm going to defrost that, and I'm going to have it. Congratulations to the Jets. Congratulations to Jets Nation. Anyone watching this, guys, thank you so much. Remember, I do a show every Thursday with my pick, prediction, talk about things that go on during the week. Please hit the like button, subscribe. I really appreciate it. You guys are responsible for my numbers. If you noticed, if you comment down below, I almost always 99% of the time will talk back to you, comment back, have a conversation if you want to have a conversation. And you know what I said? I'm rooting for Zach. But I did not expect this. And I can admit when I was wrong. I thought the Jets were scoring 6 points today. I saw the weather, how they've been playing, no confidence in Zach. I thought there's 6 points, maybe 9. That's all I thought. Zach proved me wrong today. Well, I mean, he is due for his one good game every 10 games. But seriously, Zach, I may still want you gone. You had a great game. You looked great. Congratulations. I'm so happy. I can't wait to watch all the other Jet content creators. I was watching Green Bean during the game with Jeremy. I'm so happy. I'm going to be watching that stuff all night long. I'm Midnight Mike, and I can't wait to see you next time.